guys. Um, Somebody asked me a question on Instagram. I thought that I would just make a video to talk about it. Amy, I've heard a couple of people talk about things sort of falling apart during a spiritual awakening. Example, losing jobs, moving, total change in direction, etc. Do you think that's true? Do you have a video about this? Well, we do now. And thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely, definitely. It's a reinvention. Really, it's kind of like um, God's like, or the universe is just kind of like, I want to see what you're really made of, and I want to do a course correction on your life here. So strip down, and we'll take a look at you. And it's like, just take all your clothes off and just stand there naked before the universe and like, okay, what now? They might, when you're going through an awakening, it's kind of like you're just really essentially what that is just like lining up with your ultimate authenticity. So that means that you just, hey, I don't even dress the same anymore. I don't think I like the way I dress. I think my my karmic was making me dress that way. I don't think I like that way. Or I don't think I like the feel of my house anymore. I think I'll get into a brand new house that's totally different. Or it could be, you know what, my friends. I'm not sure my friends are really my friends anymore. The more you start lining up with that better vibe, it's like things start sloughing off. It's making me think of a snake. There is a good and bad definition of a snake. The snakes are also about kundalini, which is awakening, and it's also shedding your old skin and coming into a new you, a new life. So you start having all kinds of crazy epiphanies. I don't think I like my job anymore. I don't think I want to be here anymore. Those are those moments where like everything starts to change, and it can be like a bam, 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 one thing right after another, and it's just like you can't hold on to it anymore. It's just like slipping through your fingers as there went my life the way that it was. And now here I am, stripped naked before the universe and being like, okay, what now? What do I want now? What do I want to put on? Or like dumping out your purse. You know how you got to do that, girls, every once in a while? Just dump everything out and sort through it all and be like, what do I actually use? What do I use on a regular basis that I want to be there for me in an emergency? Or when I got to have it, I want it there. So yes. But it can also be like, it depends on the degree of awakening and what's happening there. I mean, you cannot be in a stale, stagnant place if you're ascending rapidly, if you're awakening, if you're like starting to realize things that you didn't realize before. It's inevitable you're going to make tremendous changes. Now, this isn't a bad thing. This is actually like, they call this the tower moment in the tarot. It just means it's a course correction. In fact, you guys, I encourage you that if you're seeing this kind of change in your life and everything just seems to be kind of a whirlwind of change, that's actually an incredibly positive sign that the universe is putting you right where you belong. So pay attention to signs and synchronicities and be following that trail that's leading you to your path. Be paying attention and take action. It's very important that you take action on what you're being pulled to do. If you sit in the energy too long, it could shift yet again and take off in another direction. So it's like when the universe says, door open, exit here, and you don't, you get burned in the fire. It's like something's going to happen that's going to shift. That energy, that door isn't going to stay open forever. So pay attention. Be paying attention when those things are happening to you. And isn't it liberating? It's like when you're going through it, it's like, yes, I lost my job. It's so freaking awesome. It's like you knew that was inevitable. You wanted to get out of there so bad anyway. You wanted to wash your hands of that place anyway. They were treating you like garbage, right? Or, God, it feels good to have left that relationship. I feel like I could do anything. I feel like anything is possible right now. I'm so excited. So if you see things in the right light, you have to start seeing change differently if you want to have a healthy mindset about it, because change is inevitable. See change as an exciting thing, not a scary thing, but an exciting thing. learn to listen to your intuition in those moments, follow those signs, and let your heart lead you. Don't get too caught up in your head, because your head's going to get you caught up in like, I can't, because I won't do it perfect enough, or I won't. It's like, the universe is also kind of like pushes you to fly. You know, they'll take you to the edge of the cliff. They, meaning your guides and everybody who are rooting for you for your happiest life, they're going to take you to the edge of the cliff and push you off, and you'll be like, oh shit, I just fell off the cliff. And then it's like a part of you's got to click in for a minute. Oh wait, I have a parachute. You know, and it's like you gotta see it as exciting and exhilarating, and be able to intuitively feel into what to do next. You know, if you couldn't think straight and you were like blah 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 blah, chatter in your head, you're not going to pull the parachute thing, plug, cord thing. You're just going to like freak out the whole way down and splat. So you have to have a level head, stay out of thinking, drop in your heart, and make adjustments accordingly. Because logic and the ego are working against you in some ways. It's like your ego gets you thinking and spinning out on thinking, I know the most logical course of action, but it's like the people make the most extraordinary, incredible changes when they're just willing to do anything. It doesn't even matter. Move anywhere, take any, whatever. It's like, those are those moments when, okay, so also something that happened, I want to share another story with you guys. Like, I know of a certain masculine who's stuck in a situation because he's just like, I'm going to take a huge financial hit if I leave right now. And he's like stringing his feminine along while he stays with a karmic partner because he knows like the devastation that's going to cause financially. And then I conveyed to this feminine that, tell him about a little story I know about. And I know this woman who's an inspiration in Texas. She left her marriage with like, I think she said like a quarter in her pocket, like 25 cents, literally walked away, just glad to be done and to be free, right? She takes that 25 cents and she goes and works her butt off, having several jobs, trying to make ends meet, doing whatever she possibly can. But she's like, you know what? I don't want his blood money anyway. I don't want money that was tainted by him in any way, shape, or form. If that money had anything to do with him, I don't even want it. So she just had a healthy mindset about it, and then she went about to like recreate herself, like we're talking about here. And within, I think she said it was like within about 5 years, she was already a millionaire again. She was doing well off before, but she just went bloop 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 right to the top because she was determined. And she was excited. She had the right attitude about all the change. She didn't sit there wallowing and, oh my gosh, if only things could be different. You can't be like, you can't think about an obstacle course. You're not going to sit there and just ponder that forever. Damn, I got to go through the tires and then I got to go up that ladder. Shit, I got to climb that rope. Oh man, this obstacle course is too much. I'm not going to do this. You got to be like, all right, like get all ready and be like, whatever it takes, I got to do it. And just like, run through that course as fast as you can with all the strength you can muster, and, it's not about, like we were talking about, the masculine sometimes get like afraid of failure too, or not doing it perfect enough, but, just start heading a direction. Just a little text or a phone call, just a little bit of something starts going a certain direction, even like teasing online a little bit, but it's got to lead a little bit more. But anyway, any way that you go forward is still going forward. So you want to ultimately get to where you guys are communicating openly about what's going on in your lives. Even if you can't do what you essentially want to do eventually, you don't worry about the end result. Just start getting going on the path you're going down. Or like if you're relocating to another city or like whatever that is, it's like start just putting some little pieces together. You don't have to have the full picture all at once. You can just start taking some action. If you don't know where you're going and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go, but I feel really drawn to Santa Cruz, buy a ticket to Santa Cruz and just go. Don't be afraid because you're going to course correct. Okay. Now they're telling me about my trip to Boulder, like how I even got here. it was much the same. I had a tower moment. I went through all this awakening. I grew in my spiritual abilities like overnight pretty rapidly. And I was like, wow, I think I'm supposed to go to Boulder. Did I know anybody here? No. Was it comfortable? No. And I didn't want to go someplace cold, but I felt like I was supposed to. It was like, I'm like, seriously, go to someplace in the mountains where it's freezing cold and there's snow and stuff. I was like, no, I don't want to go. I want to go to a beach or somewhere warm. I don't want to go to Boulder. Although I thought it was going to be really beautiful, and it is, I was like resistant to it, but I was like, well, I just really feel like I got to do it. And there was an urgent feeling welling up in me, like, go, 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 got to do it. So I didn't sit there and go, well, maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, we'll see, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. And the volume gets turned up and you get more and more uncomfortable if you don't do something about it. So what happened, it was really funny because I was like, okay, well, I'll know when they get rid of my apartment, my perfect apartment. It was right downtown Granbury, Texas. Oh my gosh. It was right across from a park. 5 minutes walking downtown so I could go out with my friends and walk home. It was incredible. It was like the perfect location. And it was only like $500 a month, I think. It was incredible. And it was like perfect. It was all set up and it was all done up. And man, it was like a little paradise. Then all this stuff started happening in my apartment complex. Things started happening at my job. Everything in my life started getting more and more and more uncomfortable or miserable, and that pressure just kept building. I was like, all right, fine. I just finally just pulled it. I just finally decided I'm going to get rid of the apartment. I even had to get rid of my cat. My cat wanted to go outside really bad. He didn't want to go to a cold climate. That was heart-wrenching for me, but I knew I had to go. I just knew it. And I was like, I get, whatever. I didn't even know what was up ahead for me, you guys. I had no idea what was going to happen. I just felt such a strong pull to it. So don't overthink it if you're in one of these moments. Yes, a lot of change will happen, but just embrace the change. See it as very positive, and you can spot yourself all the way along. You guys will do fine, just like anything else. You start a new job, you don't know what it's actually going to be like unless you talk to me about what it's going to be like beforehand. But you start a job, you don't know what it's going to be like ultimately. But you gotta get there. You gotta sit behind the desk. You gotta talk to the people you're gonna be working with. You gotta, you feel it out, and then you make corrections as you go along. Oh, that person doesn't feel like they can be trusted, so I think I'll go to this person. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I am comfortable listening to my music while I'm doing this. No, the music's too distracting. Just like with everything in life, you can tweak it as you go. You're not gonna like walk in and own the job. It's just like impossible. Because you don't know everything that's going on until you get there. You just don't. It's a mystery. But if you're feeling a pull to go to a different city or to go express yourself to somebody or to go, like whatever you're being pulled to do, don't see it. Or if you lose your job or you don't get the opportunity you were supposed to, or whatever it is, it's like those doors get closed on your life to open brand new, more exciting doors for you. Your spirit guides are always pulling for you to have a better and better life. So follow those promptings and go towards that better life. Why, the resistance just comes from insecurity. It just comes from us doubting whether, is this really real? Or no, when you lose a job, that's a bad thing. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. For whatever bad thing is going on, make this list. Okay, so I had to specify. I was talking to this girl in Bali earlier. Hi, Jen. So we're talking, and she's in Bali, and she's like, I've been doing Byron Katie's work, and I've been doing like your thing about the misery and all that stuff. And I said, okay, so how you doing it? Like, tell me how you doing it. And I don't know what she was doing, but it wasn't what I talked about. And so I was like, and then somebody else the other day also had, she was confused as to what I was talking about. So I'm going to be very, 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 very specific right now about that exercise, because you got to do it the way I'm saying it, or it won't have the same effect at all. Okay. So you take a pad of paper, spiral bound at the top is the best, I think, for this. Right at the top of it, pick a thought that, so like say you lost all your money, okay? thank you, God. You put at the top, thank you, God. And then the rest is going to be blank. You fill in the blank every time. But it always starts off on the top of the page. Thank you, God, for whatever the misery is. It's called thank you, God, for my misery. So you say, thank you, God, that I lost my job. Okay? Then, and that's just written on the top of the page, and then you're going to list 10 to 15 advantages or benefits as to why that thought on the top of the page is a good thing. Why is it a good thing that I lost my job? Well, now I can maybe even start a new career. Maybe I can start a brand new job. Maybe this is the time to just reassess everything in my life. Maybe I want to move to a new location. Maybe, this is going to force me to sell my house, and then I'm going to have a bunch of money and be able to go start my own business. It gets you creatively thinking. It helps you just eventually see that your guides, all the bad stuff that's happening to you is not actually bad at all. It's to your advantage or to your benefit. And your guides know that. And they took you through it to do that. They didn't do it to pin you down. They didn't do it to hurt you. They didn't do it to punish you. This is not, all the change is not punishment, dude. It's good. It's good. See the good in it. And then you start to see that you're being supported in all of it. It's none of it is against you. It's all for you. So do that exercise in one thought, thank you, God, that I lost all my money, and listed all the benefits and advantages as you possibly can. And then you turn the page over, and then you say, thank you, God, that I lost my husband. And then you start listing the advantages and benefits as to why that was a good thing that you lost your husband. So then you go back through, okay, why is it a good thing that I lost my husband? Well, now I can have somebody better. Now I could go toward that person that I really love if there is somebody else. Or maybe I can just take a look at what I really want and make a list of all the characteristics that I really want. Or maybe, now this frees me up to blah, 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 blah. And you just do that, conquering or going after one, thank you, God, for the miserable thing at a time. Flip the page, do another one thing, and all of the benefits and advantages you can come up with. If you can come up with more than 10 or 15, that's even better. And if you can do as many as you can possibly think of for a whole hour, 45 minutes to an hour, you will feel a significant shift in the way that you're looking at all of your circumstances. So whatever blockages you think you have in your life, thank you, God, that I have this time constraint. Thank you, God, that, whatever it is, just list every obstacle, put it up against this challenge. And see what you come up with. You'll be blown away. I was doing the Satori Show for several months, and then all of a sudden, and I had a producer who was doing all the work. I just had to call the phone number, and then he would interview me. So he made it so easy. And then one day he just decided, bloop, I'm out. And I was like, shit, what do I do? And so I was like, dang, I was anxious about it. It's I don't know how to do anything on my own. I don't know how to, I was just like, I don't even know how to do any of it. I was I didn't have passwords. I didn't have anything, and didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, well, I guess this is the end of that run. That was fun, but I also kind of felt really down about it, and betrayed, I felt like, God, what? Why would this crappy thing happen to me, for just a moment? And then I was like, oh, wait, what would I tell anybody else to do? Well, let's do the exercise. I sat down with a pad of paper and I was like, all right, thank you, God, that my producer jumped ship. And then I started writing out all the benefits and advantages. And I was shocked at what I came up with. I was amazed at what an incredible blessing it was. And I didn't even see it because I was so wallowing in the, oh. And then I was like, well, I could make the show whatever I want. I could have whoever on the show that I want. I don't have to wait for somebody else's say. I don't have to, all of this stuff started occurring to me. How would I have the show if I really wanted it to be anything that I wanted without his input or whatever? And then I was like, well, there's a learning curve. I'm going to have to learn how to do everything by myself. And then I did. And I just had a few days to get myself together. And I just really crammed and learned how to do everything. And I did it. And then I started getting all this feedback. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, we love your new show. It's so much better than it was. He was a hindrance. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I never even saw it. I never even saw that. And I don't see him as a hindrance. He was a necessary step, He was like my training wheels. But then I just went right into a whole other level of the show after that. For those of you who've been around for a while, have seen that. So that's what I'm talking about. Embrace change, embrace the tower moments, embrace the things that get stripped away from you or that you have to walk away from, and go toward what the universe is calling you to. The universe is dangling a carrot, like, come hither, and follow that carrot. Take action. Very important. All right, guys, hope this helps, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.